I feel like you misbehave on public transit in Japan, they're gonna like be waiting for you
There's
at the
always
next
some
stop.
guy out there with a longer sword.
Yeah, or somebody with an extra double katana, like Darth Maul. Remember?
Oh, like he had the whole. That can't be superior to a sword, right? That double-ended staff, where if you touch yourself with either end, you die.
Depends on your skill level.
He
make it work.
Darth Maul, and I have not seen that movie since it came out in about 2003. But I do remember that even at the time, I was like, "That's stupid." Like, if he would have had two individual swords, he could have fought off both of them way easier than if he's just got this static thing going.
Cut my own leg off in like half a second.
Yeah.
It would totally happen. Or just cut myself in half. I'm convinced, when he gets cut in half by Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan or one of them. No, Obi-Wan. And he like falls down the hole. It could have been, self-inflicted. Who knows? That thing is, they like cut it. They cut the camera. It could have happened.
Now, you guys remember those movies. I have not seen it in so long, episode 1, that I remember the pod racing being very cool.
Today is May 4th,
was
by
it
the way.
cool or was it not cool?
All right, so let me say this.
It wasn't cool.
This is a cultural thing. We all saw the movie, but probably the same week.
Yeah.
But I was getting dropped off by a friend's mom. Taylor probably the same.
11. Yeah.
Taylor was 11. His mom was there.
Work.
Yeah,
and you're there with friends from work. So very different viewing experiences. Me and a buddy are watching it versus Taylor's mom's probably there, like watching it with him. And then you and your buddies. I thought Star Wars had been talked up so much, even in 1999, that I thought of it as like, they're making a new Godfather. They're going back to the well from whence greatness is drawn.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a mass. And it got to that part where they have catapults flicking these big glowy marbles. The retarded race of lizard people have joined the battle with the Naboo. And I couldn't understand why this was what I was watching. It seemed so stupid to me when they were flicking those fucking like marbles. They had catapults, and the enemy was a whole robot enemy. So you got no joy when you killed one. Too. It was nothing but droids. And the droids had tanks, space tanks. Okay. Yeah. Forget an M1 Abrams. They've got a space tank and they just get mollywopped. It's just fucked by stupid lizard people with catapults. And Asnamundi apparently. Yeah. And I did not think it was cool. I thought it was shit. I thought it was a kiddie movie. And I was 13 or 12 or something. And it was too kiddie for me.
Every time I watch a Star Wars movie, I walk away with that same takeaway. It's like, oh, I forgot this movie's for 9-year-olds. And
I loved it. Yeah, I was a 9-year-old watching it. You're 100, and you were talking about the tank and the stupid catapults, and I remember during that scene how much I loved seeing the robot ship come down and then seeing all in organized fashion, like all the gears and like the robots go like and like all of them getting out and marching in lockstep.
Yeah,
I thought that was so neat. But you're right. I probably wouldn't like it if I watched
As a grown up, I'm like, this pod race scene. Clearly Lucasfilms is planning on a video game and they shoehorned this bullshit in here because this will be a part of the video game and this will be a part of the merchandising toy line. And this whole movie is suffering. I think there was a scene in that movie where they had to like race their spaceship underwater in the fucking
They flew through the middle
Jar
of the planet.
Jar world. Yeah. And and I'm like, this was just like, it had no real bearing on the plot. It was just a visual effect silliness. I thought, though, that it was for the merchandising. So I was watching it through that lens.
That's the famous "there's always a bigger fish" scene when Qui-Gon is fleeing from one the core of this planet is apparently water. So you just float a submarine type thing through the middle to the other side where the white people live. Mm-hmm. And that scene was cool. That was something I liked. But the whole idea of Jar Jar Binks and the whole thing was it was a kids movie, and it's always surprised me that adults keep going, and like adults that I respect keep going and like it and identify with those characters somehow when they're all bad characters. The characters who claim to be wise or not, the characters who claim to be profound or not, the ones who are supposed to be warrior monks all get their dicks wet. Like it's nonsense. It's nonsense. They've all got bastard children floating around, not being taken care of. It's just a bunch of children flying around in space with their fucking plasma dicks out. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Hopefully they never make another one. Hopefully Marvel and Star Wars just goes by the wayside.